So this is day 2 of the fuse box move. Whole front end of the car has been stripped to get the wiring out in between the engine and the body. Taking the time to paint arches with some anti-rust, get everything looking nice. I'm still finish off this side. Yeah, that's what we have left of the wiring harness. So I had previously done a split in the middle to move the harness from outside the body to inside the strut tower. And that's why I've got already quite a lot of joints that we've now resplit to get the wiring harness completely out. And yeah, so we've just been deleting wires that we don't need. These are a couple of them already, ABS and whatnot, and windscreen washer bottle wires and stuff like that. So we're going to remove everything, and I'll try and document as much as I can as I go, so that the next guy that does this has a better idea of right hand drive fuse box move. But yeah, it's not very complicated. It's just a lot of effort, a lot of marking, tagging, making sure, because obviously there's like over the years you put, you know, wiring connections over connections and harnesses over harnesses, and then now basically undoing most of that, and then taking out everything you don't need, and then having to place the fuse boxes inside and rerun some wires. So yeah, it looks like a mess of spaghetti right now, but as we'll go, we'll document, and hopefully it'll make it simpler for the next person. So yeah, bear with us. Another update yesterday, we managed to get all the new injectors in and the fuel rails in. Just got some basically wheel nut spaces that have been cut down for size, just to get everything in. We're going to test it, make sure there's no leaks, make sure everything's working properly. Then obviously we'll have these machined out of aluminium, made everything nice, and maybe spray or coat the fuel rail just so that it matches everything else. And then yeah, these are 700cc Bosch injectors, just with extender caps to make sure everything's the right length. And hopefully these will give us closer to the 300 kilowatt mark. And yeah, should be making good power with these. Okay, this is part 2 of the video of moving the fuse box. So I've removed all these wires. These are like aircon, ABS, the original ignition coil, wiring loom, and that kind of stuff, from this side of the harness. And it was all pre-numbered, because obviously I had to cut it to get it out. Like I mentioned before, I had already connected it to move the harness, so now I'm going to use all the numbers from there and remove wiring from this side of the harness that I don't need anymore. And then we'll basically put this whole thing back inside the car with the fuse boxes where we want them, and then start cutting and lengthening the wires that we need, and obviously getting rid of the sections that we don't need. But yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's pretty simple also. I just wanted to go over getting it out. You basically just start up here at the wiper motor, and then remove the harness from the car, remove it from underneath this top bar, and then basically remove everything up until there on the firewall. And once that's done, okay, I had already stripped out the dash as well, which is quite a process. Basically you have to unbolt this fuse box and this big plug and pull all the wiring out of the path from the corner there. You can see the hole in the body right there. Yeah, pull all the wiring out from the cabin to the outside, and then you land up basically with your whole loom laying on the floor like that. Then you can start cutting and removing wires you don't need. I pre-marked wires that weren't being used, so I knew which ones I was going to cut off initially, and then obviously started with removing. Now I'm going to do this side, then I'll update again. Okay, fuse box stuck, part 3. I've removed all the cabling from this side of the harness, because that's the split there. So I've removed all the cabling from the side of the harness coming up to the main plug. Everything we don't need, and this is basically what I'm left with. So all of this wiring is like old ignition coil wiring and extra stuff that's just not used anymore, because we're running a standalone management and whatnot. But yeah, this is basically everything out that we don't need, and now we have to just sort this out and start putting this back into the car and lining up everything where we want it to be, and then we have to mount the fuse boxes and shorten the harness and then run the lines that we need back to the front basically. Okay, so this is part 4 of the wire tuck. This is quite a big update. I've moved the loom basically inside the car now. Ran it from the main plug here up over to the fuse boxes over there. That's still quite a big mess. And yeah, I've just removed a whole lot of wiring I don't need from the inside that used to be like old turbo timers and things like that. So basically we only have this wiring here, which is from, I think, the alternator loom. So that's still to be connected on the inside. Most of it is connected already, but there's 1 or 2 wires I'm still sort out. And yeah, I've completed the headlight loom. So basically these 3 and those 3 all been sent into the car, so I'm going to bundle that up now. Then I'm just going to complete the headlight loom and finish connecting the wiper loom, and then yeah, we should be good to go. Obviously it's just neatening up. I had to figure out a couple of wires because the colors changed from up there to here to the fuse box, so there's been quite a few different basically drawings of looms and stuff to match up the colors and make sure I've got it right. But yes, hopefully today still this will all be taped up and everything joined properly, and we won't have any further problems, hopefully. Wire tuck part 5. So I've had a bit of an issue with the motors. I've got a drift day coming up this week, so I'm actually just going to leave those looms out because I haven't been able to figure out exactly which wire is supposed to go where from the fuse boxes. The colors and stuff are a bit off, so I'll sort that out after the drift day. But basically what's nice is that this area is clear of, still need to clean it up a bit. This area is clear of the original fuse box. These wires will be cleaned up also after the drift day. So the loom basically runs in there, and it's been simplified to, basically that it's about 5-6 wires. And on this side we've taken it down just to these. These are just the lights and indicators, and basically runs through there. Gonna heat wrap this soon, just to make sure obviously it doesn't warm up anything that shouldn't be warmed up. But yeah, and that goes into the cabin. Obviously there's still neatening up to do, but I'm just basically gonna neaten everything up and run it just so that the car can drive this Friday. But this is basically the carbon plate with the 2 fuse boxes and the power mod management, and that will be mounted nicely to the dashboard, and yeah, we're getting there. But yeah, this is it for now, and then I will update again after the drift day when we repair the wiring for the motors to get them to work properly.